What's going on, everybody? Today's a very momentous, day. We have a very, proud announcement to make. I got my guy here, Nigel Caldon of Ballstar, founder, co-founder, and you guys know me, Cal Griffin, all things hoops, and yeah, man. Today we chopping it up with my guy, and we got a all things hoops Ballstar partnership announcement, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This transcends, the basketball world. This transcends being cool and cordial. A lot of people don't know the history behind Nigel and I's relationship. With over 20 years, over 20 years of a friendship. You know what I'm saying? But we here now, man. We got two basketball brands that we are both proud of, and we coming together for the greater good. Nigel, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the platform here, man. Talking it up, man, chopping it up, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming aboard and letting the people know a little bit about what's going on with us. Would you like to introduce yourself? Introduce, Ballstar. I know, if unless you've been under a rock, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much know what's going on with Ballstar. So, but I'm gonna let my guy, talk to y'all and let you know a little bit about what Ballstar is and what we got up our sleeve and what we've been doing.
Appreciate you, Cal, man. Thank you for having me. Excited to finally be on All Things Hoops, watch it grow from literally its beginning to where it is now. And really, we just wanted to take the time because, so much of what we do, what you do, what I do, what so many other people do across the country and all over the world, and, trying to document basketball, the sport that we both love, it very much becomes tied to your face, right? Your brand is you and you are the brand. And sometimes it can get confusing. And so, in my case, I've got a co-founder, my brother. He stays very much behind the scenes. Not very many people know him. You probably never met him unless, you were in like a business meeting with us. But at the same time, a lot of it has been me being kind of the face of the brand. And so with that, what is Ballstar? Ballstar is the operating system for amateur sports, right? When you load up a computer, you got to run that on Mac. You got to run that on Microsoft. When you start a league, when you start a team, you got to run that on Ballstar. That's how we envision the Ballstar platform. Many of you might be like, what are you talking about? I only know it's like a scorekeeping app or something like that. Yeah, that's true. We did drop a scorekeeping app in stores right before the pandemic. And since then, our engineer, shout out to him, Dougie Fresh, out of Miami.
Shout out to Dougie Fresh, my guy.
Big up to Dougie Fresh. He ain't got no Instagram, so he ain't going to see this, but we'll send him the video. But he's our engineer, and so we never stopped when the basketball stopped and the world stopped. We kept building towards our dream and what we thought made sense. We know leagues hate all the same things, right? They hate trying to get the same message across to 30 different teams. They hate chasing down referee fees. They hate. And we've been doing a bunch of research for a long time with a variety of leagues to try to make a product that we felt solves the problems of amateur sports. And most importantly, solves the problem of amateur basketball, which is, something I've grown up loving and we all still love to this day. But this announcement is to really talk about the convergence, the merger of All Things Hoops and Ballstar, right? Cal said again, we've been cool way before this. But, obviously y'all have seen Cal and All Things Hoops brand blow up, as have Ballstar. And, as we started to think about, we want to spend more of our time and energy on the product, while Cal is killing it on the content side, how about we collaborate and, All Things Hoops is now pretty much the content arm of Ballstar. You probably already see we erased our Instagram. That's going to be more product focused, but, building a community and All Things Hoops is a pillar in that community, man. So I'm grateful for your participation. I'm grateful for you saying yes You know what I mean? You ain't have to say yes. You be like, I'm cool, man. I'm just trying to do me and chill, and trust me, believe you me. I've gone to a bunch of friends and asked them to help out, and they've all had successes and failures to varying degrees. But shout out to you, Cal. You stuck it through thick and thin, and we here now, and it's about to get different.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this like I said earlier, you know, this started way back in 1999, when we were both you know, freshmen at Hampton University. You know, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like you know, that you were one of those guys that in passing, hey guy, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, we actually rocked together and created that synergy. And way before there was even a Ballstar or All Things Hoops, you know, around. And you know, I think that part was the actual foundation for this, even for this conversation right here. You know, it's I'm humbled. I'm grateful that you know, you guys, because I've seen even before All Things Hoops started. You know, a lot of people don't even know, but you and Ballstar, quite frankly, was one of the motivations, you know, motivating factors for even creating an All Things Hoops. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just a quick story. You know, it was about 5 years ago or so, something like that, and Nike had they had an you know, activation of some sort at King Towers. King Towers is in my neck of the woods. You know, in Harlem. You being from Brooklyn, and me being from Harlem, I thought that maybe, all right, you know, Nigel's in my neck of the woods. Let me show him around, right? But at that particular game, like, I couldn't even see the game, right? But I could glance. I got a glimpse of Nigel on the court. You know, I couldn't, like, meanwhile, I'm in my hood. I couldn't even see the game. I couldn't even see an inch of the game. But you know what I'm saying, coming from Brooklyn, and this is not a Brooklyn Harlem thing.
I was say, man, we don't want to see it anymore of that. That's love. Harlem know, people from Brooklyn know how it is.
We all love, man. It's all love over here, man. But you know, I was like, man, this dude came all the way over here, across the river, and he's on the court. Like, I gotta find a way. I gotta find a way to get on the court, and that was my motivation right there. Like, that's what kind of sparked the fire, if you will, to get me to try to do something. You know, do something to get on the court, bro. Like, you got to get down there with Nigel. You know what I'm saying? Nigel's down there with the VIPs. You know, rubbing shoulders with the powers that be.
I wouldn't quite say VIPs. The VIPs had seats. I was sitting on the ground, but either way, you know what I mean? I was in the mix, and yeah, you know, that's crazy. I want to tell two quick stories. One, talking about how we met in 1999, Hampton University. Shout out to all the HBCU alums. Shout out to everybody activating around HBCUs, trying to get our young people scholarships and opportunity at HBCUs. So that's always what's up. Community's always what's up. Right. But the story I always like to tell about how we met, and I don't even remember how we met, like, day one, but I know it wasn't on ball. It was we ain't meet on the court. It wasn't like we had a court behind our dorm, but we ain't meet on the court. We met on other circumstances. You know what I'm saying? But the story about ball and about Hampton University, shout out to the statute of limitations being gone, but we used to break into Hampton Convocation Center in the middle of the night. Right. Like, we didn't go, and, you know, my brother went to a PWI. A bunch of people go to PWIs, right? And, like, at them schools, it'd be like, yo, you got everything. Like, yo, you got a whole sports center just for the students. Like, at Hampton and HBCU, schools with less budgets, they got one court, and that's for the players, right? And we were definitely at that. We ain't have no, like, oh, we going to go hoop. It was like, if intramurals wasn't on, gym was closed. And Convocation Center was like an event space. So 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning, we used to sneak into the store, figured out one of the custodians was leaving the door open at night. Luckily, I remember the first time it's pitch black, we had to figure out how to even turn the lights on in there. You know what I mean?
Right,
and everybody remembers, not even everybody remembers, everybody thinks of that like you in the gym, you hear all them lights coming on for the first time. Pop, 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 pop. And we waiting for the lights to warm up, and we in there like, yo, I hope we don't get caught. You're like, we definitely get kicked out of school business. But, yo, we probably had a good 2 months run before they caught us. And that we had like 30 people. We were from D.C., Philly. It was lit. We had a little midnight run happening. And that was the first time I got to really, really see you play, and you probably see me play because we was on some other timing out there. But, yeah, the love for the game started well before there, but then we was able to connect and build there. And obviously linking back up once we were built back in the city. You see me up at Caldon. I just want to shout out to the people who got me in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like Stanley Lumax. Stanley Lumax. I'll say it again, Stanley Lumax. Before we had a product, like before Ballstar was a product, a lot of people thought Ballstar was just kind of like a content brand. And in some ways it was really just kind of be a feeder for what we're building and what we got going on now. But like Stanley Lumax at the time was the head of Nike Northeast, and he would just see me at every tournament he was at. Every tournament he was at, and he's their supervisor, but he also kind of has a passion for photography. And one day he saw me, he was like, yo, why do I keep seeing you everywhere? And I'm like, yo, this, that, the other, the third. This is what I'm working on. Stanley Lumax invited us up to Nike. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I didn't even know where the Nike offices was. You know what I mean? I know where Foot Locker was. I know where Nike Town was. I'm in the Nike offices. What's going on, right? So it's Stanley, it's Kenji, who's no longer Nike. Kenji Sumner, shout to him too. And I forget the other person. I forget her name. Forgive me, it escapes me. But, you know, they all listen to me like, yo, my brother and I, like, yo, this is what our dream is. This is what we're building towards. You know, we had some wireframes to show them and like, yo, this is what we're doing. And out of that conversation, one of the things that always stuck with me was like, they were like, yo, our customers are demanding their stats. Mm-hmm. And that was definitely an inspiration to be like, yo, we're definitely on the right track. Because as ball players, my brother and I know we want our stats. Because every ball player wants their stats. And so for people at the most important basketball brand in the world, be like, yo, our customers are kind of saying the same thing too. We hand that feedback. That was a huge stamp of approval. That was a huge thing. And that kind of led to us kind of having access, you know, to those events and being there. And shout to him. He had us do the stats for Nike Tournament of Champions. You and I were just talking about it the other day.
Right.
Like, yo, Chicago basketball, I don't know, man. New York basketball. Yeah, we from New York, and, you know, New York basketball to the death, regardless. But, you know, my brother went to Northwestern. I'm familiar with Chicago. I got friends in Chicago. I got people I consider family from Chicago. Chicago hoop, man. Chicago hoops, and there's no single rims in Chicago. Only double rims everywhere. So everybody in Chicago can shoot. And so all that said, I was saying, you know, it's already been said, you know, Nike already did tournament champions. LA versus Atlanta versus New York versus Chicago versus DC. And every year, New York or Chicago. New York or Chicago. Matter of fact, I think the series is tied up. It might be time for a tiebreaker. I don't know. But, you know, that's the latest and greatest. I wanted to shout out the people who got us here. Mad other people along the way. Couldn't have done it without people like Anton Marchand. You know, people like Chad Babel gave us our first shot doing AAU stats for Made Hoops, which is exploded into a whole new platform now. So I just want to make sure I pay homage to everyone who helped us along the way. And I hope I'm not missing anyone. There have been 100 more along that way, but specifically along that Nike journey that led me to be there on the court that day. Those people had everything to do with it, man.
Right. So let's rewind to the very, very beginning of Ballstar, when you know, the very first day that the inspiration, the light bulb went off. You know, what inspired that first inkling of an idea? You know, what inspired that?
I wish I had my brother Vaughn here because it was really his idea. He and I were decent basketball players. We weren't all American. We weren't even all state. You know what I mean? We weren't even all city. You know what I'm saying? But anyone who was all city my year, they know me. Anyway, another story for another day. We always, play ball. We were good at ball. We were good at sports coming up. And so, but now, we're fat and we're old is the bottom line, man. And we around the way in Flatbush at a barbecue and get into an argument with somebody who is better now but wasn't as good back in the day. Someone who used to kill back in the day. That person just talking it up. And it's my man, Rich Gare. He be repping the Ballstar brand. Shout to him. But talking wild smack, and my brother's like, yo, like this guy didn't play where I played, do what I did, and that's the reality, right? Although Rich ended up beating my brother in a one-on-one 2 days after that. You can't ever live that down. He didn't. My brother's like, yo, everybody got to have a history where you could see where you played ball, who you played against, all that, because he's like, yo, we both of us played Broncos. He was on the B team behind people like Booger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've gone toe-to-toe. Like, I got destroyed, but you're not allowed to have conversations about this with me. Like, I've gone with the best. So, leaving that, like, every ball player, every team, every league, you can't describe if you was nice or not unless you describe it in terms of who you played against, right, who you played with, who you coached under, right? What league you played in, right? Like, yeah, you had 40 against who? Right, Bobito, he got a good one. He always clinging on. I think he says I had 13 points against Brevin Knight when we played each other in high school. I know you had 12 against Shea Cotton. So, everybody's holding on to, one memory. That Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns at Polk High energy. Oh, like, yeah. That's our evidence of greatness. And, that's what tells our stories to athletes. And we feel like that's valuable. We think every ball player, every athlete needs to have that to be able to show and prove.
I think 2 of those points was actually a windmill dunk on Shea Cotton's head. I'm just kidding, Shea, man.
Right there's a type of stuff you can get away with until Ballstar exists. You know what I'm saying? Ballstar.
Right. I can say whatever I want, man. But
and it'll be you, Shea Cotton, word versus each other, right? I'm just trying to take all the capping out of basketball.
Nah, I think people will take his word for it. But it's all good. It's all good. I got the videotape, man. That's gonna surface one day, man. And when I find a VHS, I'm dating myself now. You know what I'm saying? I truly am. But when I find that VCR, and when I find that VCR, man, Shea, you in trouble, man. Shout out to Shea Cotton and the entire West Coast, man.
Believe that.
But yeah, man. So in terms of the turning it from an idea into something tangible, like what was that process like? And wanting to move faster than you actually were going, but not having the capability, or did you? Like how did that work for you?
Yo, it had its ups and it had its downs, right? Like if you walking into Nike New York headquarters and you don't have a product yet, you feel like, oh, clearly I just won, right? Like we won. And then you're going to have your down days. And when, after you told people about it, they're like, all right, well, where is it then? You know what I'm saying? Like you said you was going to do that. Where's it at? I don't know how to code, y'all. I'm not, all the young people listening, if you want to pick up a trade, learn how to code. That's who's running the world right now. But I don't know how to code. But, what we were doing, we paid out of our pockets. Matter of fact, we ran a Kickstarter. We're like, yo, this is gonna cost bread. We went and costed like how much it would cost to do the basic thing, which is just a website where we could put data up on. And we raised $20,000 on Kickstarter. Shout out to all our Kickstarter supporters. That was able to pay for all the merch that we had to send back for our Kickstarter supporters, as well as development of the website. And then it's like, all right, I got somewhere to put your stats, but now I need your stats. So then I'm start calling every league commission in the country. Like I'm Googling, I'm just trying to find out contact information of everybody. And it's like, and it started with Rucker Park, right? We said, if we're going to focus on anything, we want to focus on the highest level of undocumented basketball. And that's the semi-pro, right? That's where you get guys from overseas, women from overseas, best high school players, best college players, but somehow those games don't got no record, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, Skip Tamalu got legendary games. You know, Kemba got legendary games. Like, and those are all lost. So I call every league commissioner in the country, starting with Greg Marius, rest in peace. Greg was like, yo, I don't know what you're doing, but I'll give you a shot, brother. You out here seem like you know what you want to do. That's what's up. And then after I hired Greg, I start calling every other commissioner saying, oh, I already got Rucker Park down with it. You know, I'm calling Miles in Goodman League. I'm calling Jai AABL. I'm calling Dino Smiley in LA for Drew League. And so, you know, just cold calling. They ain't know me from nowhere. They didn't know me from nowhere. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I got Rucker Park, and everybody was with it. And that kind of started a relationship where at least they knew who I was, right? Like, I wasn't just a random person. I think the part that leveled it up was part of I flew out to Chicago. Chicago, they had the World Basketball Festival. It was the year that the Olympics was in America. And so they had Nike activated Chicago crazy, and they had the Tournament of Champions in Chicago. So I flew out there. I'm like, yo, it's just going to be the flight. I know I can stay on a couch on the South Side, and I'll be good from there. So I go out there, and I still don't know anybody. Like, people know me from New York, but they're not expecting me to be in Chicago. But I ain't on nobody lists. One of my brother's people, my man Quincy, another Northwestern cat who had done some industry things. He had some connection to Nike Chicago. He gets me on the VIP list. So now I'm lit. I'm in the hospitality suite, eating food, drinking drink. They got tents outdoors. It's air conditioned. I can meet the players. It's Steph Curry. It's James Harden. It's D Rose. It's Kevin Love. It's that year, right? And I'm like, oh, all right. Now I know I'm on, right? But just through me being in the VIP, I got to meet all these commissioners who I only spoke to on the phone. I got to meet Mike from Danny Rumpf Classic. I got to meet Ja face-to-face from AEBL. I got to, you know, meet Raheem from Chosen League. You know what I mean? Like, I got to actually get FaceTime and continue to spread the gospel. So, again, just kind of chipping away at it. Like, yo, this is where we at. This is what we doing. And that's really the journey. But it's just, to your question, it was just frustrating, bro. Like, I don't code. Meanwhile, everybody and their mother is raising $1 million, $2 million. Overtime starts following Ballstar. They out here doing volleyball. They out here doing softball. They doing all suburban sports. And they raising $2 million. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get it going right here. I've got Nike as a partner. Why can't right. You know, it's no secret how I feel about those guys. But just to piggyback on that, you know, when they first started showing up at leagues, when we first started, we were making leagues sign a contract with us. Say, yo, we got rights to your data. One of the first people to take it seriously was Kenny at West 4th.
Shout out to Kenny Graham.
Shout out to Kenny Graham. He was like, yo, all right, I got you. So when Overtime was first launching, they had an army of interns, you know, stuff you can't afford if you ain't got $1 million. Anyway, another story, another day. Their office at the time was near Greenwich Village, so the first tournament they focused is West 4th. And they used to go in the book and try to find the players' names to tag them on IG and try to hunt them down. And Kenny held me down. He was like, yo, this is Ballstar book. You can't go in the book. This is Ballstar's Institute Rights to this. Now Overtime starts characterizing themselves as, oh, yeah, but we with Ballstar. I show up on Kenny, ask Kenny. I show up at West 4th one day. He called me. He was like, yo, these guys showing up. They saying they with you. I'm like, what you talking about? I pull up the next day. I guess they call him again. He's still dead him on the book. And he was like, yo, they calling me. They on the phone with me right now. Nigel saying they with you. I'm like, what? So, you know, long story short, frustrating, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing that I don't have is the money and the technical capabilities. Meanwhile, these guys are raising money. Not just them, but all types of people. You know, that's just a challenge of a black person raising money in Silicon Valley. You know what I mean? But we eventually convinced an accelerator called Matter. They gave us a little bit of bread, gave us about $50,000 cash and an office. So if anyone came out to our party in Union Square, that was our office we were rocking at. But, you know, that cash really just paid for the app. You know what I mean? Paid for the scorekeeping app. And that just got us to where we were. And luckily, we still have relationships, continue working with Nike as best we can. And all that's behind us now because we got an engineer and, you know, the ups and downs are past us. We still ain't got $1 million, but, you know, we got an engineer, we got the passion, we got a team, and we about to make it happen this summer.
No doubt, man, no doubt. Now, with the introduction, because Ballstar has gone through a number of different phases, right? But the phase that we're in today, obviously, it took some time to get to. In terms of the direction that you're trying to go in this new phase of Ballstar, is it more so just like getting every league to adopt the Ballstar way of you know, of scoring, or you know, like in terms of like, are you just trying to just grab up every league, or like what is your end goal with respects to where you're trying to go with Ballstar, you know, right now? Can't hear you.
The end goal is every league. That's literally our motto, right? Y'all probably know our motto, every player counts. You've probably seen us iterate on it where every league counts and every team counts, but that's exactly how we feel. Brooklyn to Beijing, Pee Wee to pro, doesn't matter where you are. If you hooping, if you putting up numbers, we want you to be able to tell that story forever. So it's every single league in the world. We are dreaming no small dreams over here. So we want you to be able to follow what your favorite summer league players are doing in Greece, the same way you might follow what happened at, you know, J. Cole at the BAL or Shaq West in the Parisian League. Like, we believe in the global community of basketball and pulling it together. And pulling it together by the leagues we played in, the teams we played on, and the teammates we played with.
And can you speak to some of the some of the capabilities of the actual app? Like, what can you do? What what's the difference between the Ballstar app and some of the other apps out there, or some of the other competition out there? Like, what makes Ballstar stand out, and what makes it unique?
Number one competition is pen and paper, right? I don't know what you still do on pen and paper, right? Like, you stopped doing math on pen and paper, and then you started using a calculator. You started scheduling things on pen and paper, then you started using Google Calendar. We used to write letters, and now we write email. And that's all we're trying to do is push our game and amateur sports forward into digitization. And so our core value proposition is we built a scorekeeping app that replaces the pen and paper book. It allows that one person who would normally keep your book to capture an entire box score. So right now, you know, after the game, everybody running the book. Only thing in there is points and fouls, right? Points and fouls, and that's it. We believe, you know, that one person can now capture points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers, and doing less work than what they would have done with a pen and paper book. Field goals made and attempted, free throws made and attempted. Everything the NBA has, your league, your team can have. Well, and that's just like the pen and paper part. So after you submit that game, your league and your team, as well as a player, get a profile on ballstar.com that lives forever. Think about your LinkedIn resume forever. We'll have every game you ever played and how much you had, your totals, your averages, your career goals. If you have 100,000 points in your career, who knows, right? Ballstar will know. So that's kind of the main value proposition. There are competitors out there. No competitor can solve your problem from registration to record keeping, right? So from the moment of like, well, who's playing in the league, payments, what division are they in, scheduling them in games, communicating those schedule and schedule changes, having a central place where people can go look at information, scoring the information, keeping that information over time, all of that. No one has that end-to-end. You know, Game Changer is a popular one. They don't even do basketball no more, but they would just focus on scorekeeping. League Apps is a popular one. They just do the registration. Be the Beast is a popular one, gaining traction right now. they don't have a scorekeeper, right? So anytime you, like, say if you got Sports Engine, which got acquired by NBC for $50 million, anytime you're using Sports Engine, you're paying them, and then now how do you get your stats onto the website? That's somebody's job. You got to manually do that. All of those are eliminated at Ballstar. All you got to do is set it up, score the game, and all the data goes exactly where it needs to be. Oh, and did I mention it's free? Let me say it again. It's free. So if you're paying for a book, if you're paying for app, you're bugging because this is free. Giving this away because it's free, because we're doing this for the culture. We're not doing this to go steal your players and start an elite league that's supposed to compete with the NCAA and G League. I'm here to support your league, not take away from it. You heard?
Shout out to those other guys, man. Shout out to those other guys.
Yeah, straight regulation, no overtime.
Word up. But now you mentioned a few of the partners that you were able to kind of get on your side. You mentioned West Fourth. You had mentioned Greg Marius. May he rest in peace, with the EBC. Can you speak to some of the newer partners that you've been able to acquire, and what are your plans with them? Like, what is your plans moving forward with the brand and your with respect to your partners?
Yo, yeah, definitely. First of all, shout out to all the partners, right? Because other people have approached them, right? Other people have approached them and say, hey, we want to do your data. I remember AEBL told me, he was like, yeah, somebody approached me to do my stats. And I was like, nah, we doing Ballstar. Meanwhile, I ain't got an app, right? That's just a type of community and loyalty that was going on there. I don't want to get too deep into announcing partners because I want that to happen. But just, you heard who I mentioned, and nobody's telling me no right now. You know what I'm saying? No one's telling us no right now. So, everyone who you want to be on there is going to be on there this summer, right? So, you go follow _Ballstar and all things hoops. You already following. You'll definitely be a part of that echo chamber to hear who's in. But if it's bigger than New York is what I'm saying. Is all I'm saying. It's bigger than New York. So
if you know, you know.
I said you'll be able to see them rollouts. We got some special rollouts planned. So pay attention. You're gonna see. But everybody you want is going to be there.
That's a fact.
It wasn't our fault. It wasn't for lack of trying. Me and Cal both harassed him.
Yeah, hey man, we breaking barriers this time around, man.
It's all good. It's just the first year. I'm pretty sure by the time they see what we're doing, everyone, every and anybody, including a whole bunch more people, are going to be down, and that's when the floodgates open up. We're excited about that. But the leagues, the very exclusive, the top tier, the nation, the most recognized summer leagues in the country are going to be a part of this. And we're very grateful to all of them. Stay tuned for the updates. So that's what I'll say there. Stay tuned for the updates, but that's who it is, man.
Right. So I got to just say something real quick. In terms of like when you and your brother approached me about joining the team, initially I was like, man, well, how does this correspond? How does this correlate to what I'm doing right now? And will it take away from what I'm doing? And the answer to that was no. Everything kind of falls hand in hand. And I gotta say that this group that we're assembling here, and it starts with you and I and Vaughn and your brother. It's more like it's more like family, man. It's more like a family type of situation. We've gone on business trips to Chicago, all the All-Star weekend and whatnot. That was a Ballstar weekend. That was a great event, a great weekend to kind of be there and experience everything. At that time, I was I went with I was working with Slick, and then had the opportunity to work with Ballstar. So it was a no-brainer for me to to join you guys and to enhance what you have going on. Like I said, it's a no-brainer, but not only because you guys are hot, you guys have a hot product or you know, the app that's you know, this kind of incredible or whatever the case may be. You know, I truly believe in the product. Like, if I didn't believe in the product, like, I don't think I would be able to even, you know, get down with you guys, because you know, it's like kind of like you selling a lemon almost, right? I take pride in what I communicate to people about, you know, and when I do communicate to people about Ballstar, it's like you said, it's a passion project, right? So it's more than, you know, it's more than just a situation that, you know, hey, I think this is going to blow up soon or whatever the case may be, which I do think I do think the brand is going to blow up soon, but it's more so, you know, believing in the product. And I tell, you know, I tell everybody who I come in contact with, hey, you know, if you like it, which I have no doubt that you will, you know, continue with it. If you don't like it, delete the app. It's as simple as that. You know,
give us some feedback first. Let's try to make it better before you delete the app. You know what I mean? We got to engineer.
Of course, but I don't see too many. You know, you put people in that position of, you know, hey, it's almost that FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. You know, with a lot of people, not really knowing what the capabilities are yet, and not knowing what to expect. It's like, you know, you're not really sure if you want to do it or not. But once you see the results, you're gonna be knocking on the door again, and then you're gonna be asking, how can I get down? So you know, you know, you guys it's more like a family situation over here at Ballstar, man.
It's definitely our family. Like, we go back way back. You know what I mean? We brothers anyway, and my brother's my brother anyway. And while we're talking about, you know, foundational pieces to the team, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out some of the people who were there and helped out from the even before you was down, Cal, and probably top among those people is Anton Marchand. He don't even like taking pictures or anything like that, but I remember, you know, shout out to Big Body Yachty. He introduced me to Anton Marchand, was like, yo, my man got an idea on basketball, and I told Anton about it, and he was like, that's going to be huge for all my international guys. And from that moment, it was nothing to talk about. He was 10 toes down. He was with it and always supportive and doing everything he could, and extremely grateful. When I was calling all those commissioners, there were few that wasn't picking up my phone. Right, and then I called Anton. I was like, yo, these guys aren't picking up my phone. This guy started picking up my phone, man. So shout out to him, sharing his influence with us. And to this day, you know what I'm saying? Also, people are part of that founding team. People like Chi Nwogu. Y'all don't really know him like that, but, you know, a real smart, intelligent brother who was really instrumental to help us getting it off the ground, help us with the Kickstarter. He now runs a company called Game Flow, where he created like a pickup card game for kids that's all about basketball. Real genius stuff. Check it out. Game Flow. He just did a successful Kickstarter. And he was also really helpful. Dominic Propati helped us with design. All the genius design of that app, that was me and him every day for months going at that. You know, he since is an executive at Fiserv, but, you know, people who put in work. And there have been other people who have come and put in, you know, done what they could, you know, with whatever time they could and whatever talents they could spare with us. But, you know, the journey of a startup is a different one. And I'm not sure that everyone really appreciates the level of sacrifice that's necessary for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not right, wrong, or in between on anyone. There are other people, mad other people, you know what I'm saying, who helped. You know what I mean? Vern helped. He's at, everybody know Vern from Concrete Rose, used to coach at South Shore. Now he coaches at Roselle Catholic. Dre helped, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Vern, Dre.
Kojo, Canarsie Day, you know what I mean? Running Canarsie Day. Pop Smoke is in Ballstar database because of Kojo, you know what I mean? So, like, people doing what they could when they could, and I just want to make sure I give everybody their flowers because right, wrong, and in between, ups and downs, all that is what got us to where we are. And, you know, it's always love. We're all those people forever.
No, absolutely, man. It takes. I always like to tell people that you know, whether it's a child or a business, it takes a village. You know, it takes a village to kind of to raise that child or business and to nurture it. Because anybody could have a business, right? But you need support. You need people to actually, you know, support you and see your vision, and you know, and stand behind you. And you know, and you're gonna have some people that stand behind you, but in the same breath, you need also some individuals to stand next to you as well. And that's, you know, and that's partly you know, what I envision myself in doing. You know, when approached by you guys, it's like, you know, like you said, man, we created a bond way before, you know, way before Ballstar, All Things Hoops even existed. And you know, even if there had never been a Ballstar, we would have still been, you know, with that bond. So you know, it's just it's just something magical, man. That's and the synergy is there. You know, when you know, when you're wrong, I don't feel any hesitation to let you know what's on my mind, and vice versa. And at the end of the day, our end goal is mutual. Is a mutual end goal in getting better every day. So, you know, with that said, man, I wanted to ask you in terms of, like, you know, something that you're like, knowing now everything that you've learned over the years, over the course of the years that you've had Ballstar in existence. What is something that you kind of learned late in the game, and late in the game, that you would have been like, man, I wish I'd have known that, you know, when we first started?
100 lessons, too many to go through. I feel like I made every mistake. Well, I've run businesses before. I've never run a technology startup. I've never really run a business that required other people's investment to really move it forward. It was like, hey, I got something, I can sell it to you, but requiring, you know, technical development, you know, that's the whole journey. And I'm very glad I went through that journey of just learning how to develop an app. And quite frankly, in that space of time, it's become way easier, right? It's become way easier and way cheaper. And I've learned those ways. I've learned how to code in multiple languages. I still can't build it from scratch, but, you know, I've done as much learning as I could, learning how to be a better manager, learning how to be a better person. Something people don't talk about often when it comes to entrepreneurship and startups is mental health, man. Like, I think Mental Health Month was last month, but, you know, the journey of an entrepreneur, the journey of a startup can be extremely challenging. You know what I mean? The ups and downs, the failures and successes can really throw you for a loop, particularly if you're fundraising as well. You know, something we're going to kick off pretty soon. But, you know, no one likes being told no. Try being told no 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to wear on you after a while. So, you know, for me, my challenge was, you know, for us, not having an engineer, not being able to move the product where I knew the community needed it to be, was the ultimate frustration. Not being able to, you know, we did an amazing, shout out to Matter, our accelerator, our top investor. When we got off our demo day in San Francisco and at Google in New York, people were literally coming up to us like, that's the best pitch I've ever seen. Like, literally out their mouth. So me and my brother walking off, I mean, Anton flew out to San Francisco with us too to see those. Like, he can tell you, like, people's like, yo, y'all got this. And we're like, yeah, right? We're like, all right, yeah, we're going to raise a couple million, come do this, hire an engineer, and we popping, and we'll figure it out. And it didn't work out like that. It didn't work out like that at all, man. So, you know, so many lessons to learn from, you know, emotional balance as a human, as an individual. For me, I'm really ambitious, and, you know, clearly to go on a journey like this, but, you know, when things aren't working, you start questioning everything. What'd you do right? What'd you do wrong? What you could have done, what you could have done with that time. Like, there's a lot of time I've spent on this. So it was extremely challenging. Shout out to my brother. He just saw me one day sleeping too much. He was like, yo, you know, you're not okay, right? Like, you look like you're okay, and I'm talking to people, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, you know, killing it. How's Ballstar? We cool, we making progress, blah, blah, blah. And I was making baby steps, but I was feeling awful about it. So I was legit depressed for a month or more. And it took my brother just seeing that and be like, yo, you want to talk to somebody? You want me to schedule something for you? And really to kind of address that. And I'm grateful for that. It's made me a better person. It's made me more sensitive to other people's fluctuations in their mental health and how that might be impacting their work. But also made me more sensitive to myself and my body. And probably one of the greatest things that came out of it was trying to be more consistent in taking care of my body. I run 3-4 times a week now. Just on some mental, on some mind, body, spirit vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like what you said earlier, having a company is like having a child. And if you stressed, that stress is going to come over to your child, right? If you're loving, that love is going to go over to your child. So if you don't feel great, if you're depressed, your company is going to act like that too. And thankfully, we're able to come out on the other side. One of the brightest moments was in the midst of it all, we ain't got nothing going on. Out of nowhere, the people from Geico High School Nationals call us. Was like, hey, y'all still doing that stat keeping thing? And it was on again. You know what I'm saying? And it was on again. And right around that time is when I linked up with Dougie Fresh and brought him on as a full-time engineer. So that really obviously put us in a whole new category. So having all of those tools in place, learning all of those lessons has made me a better manager, a better CEO, a better startup founder, and not a moment too soon, because now we have everything, right? We've got the engineer, we've got the technology. We're gonna do this traction this summer, and I'll be back out there letting people tell me no, but I'm in a whole different headspace about it. It's like, I don't need your money. I needed your money before so I could go hire an engineer. Dougie Fresh gonna build this regardless, right? Dougie Fresh gonna build us. I don't even want to drop what's dropping next, but you know, Fresh is building us type of stuff that's gonna change the world. It's really gonna change the way content and data are consumed for basketball. And so, you know, really exciting stuff. And now the FOMO got to be on the investors and not me.
No, absolutely, man. And I do see that happening. You know, and I see where I see how calculated you are in terms of your approach to making this happen. And it's contagious. You know what I'm saying? It rubs off on everybody who's around you. And if you're not getting that type of energy, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you, because you're giving it all. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's either you take this energy and do something positive with it, or you just kind of like need to get away, because you know, like I said, it's like a family atmosphere with Ballstar, and I really you know, I'm appreciative of the opportunity, and you know, bringing all things hoops and Ballstar together. I think it's some good things can happen. Let's just make it, let's make it work.
Let's not forget about all the innovations we talking about for all things hoops too. Don't act like this is just.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we gotta we gotta have something up our sleeve. You know, we can't give them everything, but you know, this is like, again, man, it's a family here, man. And you know, if you guys are out there running your own business, and you guys, you know, I would tell you, hey, the first step is to pretty much create a family atmosphere around your business, and then everything will start coming together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have you can't work in a dictatorship type of situation and expect to get the most out of people. Right?
Coaching the team, man. It's just like coaching the team, right? The coach got to be held accountable. The players got to be held accountable. Players got to hold each other accountable. If you walk into practice and people ain't running hard on the suicides, you ain't gonna get the new player to run hard on the suicide. So, you know,
I just made a post. I just actually posted about that. I said something about what was it? What was the quote? I forgot, man. But in terms of not willing to not being willing to sacrifice. A lot of people want to be winners, but they don't want to sacrifice what it takes to be a winner.
And I want to shout you out on that, Cal, because, you know, we're announcing this to the world now, but we've been at this for quite some time, you know what I'm saying, on working together and building together. So, you know, that's what it all boils down to, man, because we're all sacrificing. You know, that's what entrepreneurship is. You know, that's what raising a child is. It's sacrifice. I don't want to eat. My kid got to eat. I got to put this forward. And I know everyone got competing responsibilities. No one is just doing Ballstar, all things hoops all day. People got jobs and families and responsibilities. And, you know, somehow we still got to make it happen if we believe. And so I'm really grateful to you, Cal, because I know how much you sacrificed for Ballstar. And we trust, man. It's all gonna be worth it, man. We know the type of summer we about to have. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stick to it.
So yeah, man, we you know, we chopped it up. You know what I'm saying? We definitely chopped it up for a good 50 minutes. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Out there, you know, doing their own thing, doing their podcast, man. Being, you know, sacrificing what you guys sacrifice. And you know, I'm here with my guy, man. We chopping it up, man. That's what we doing. So
yeah, shout out to everybody out there, man. You know,
yeah.
I'm here to help. If people want guidance, they want to talk. I don't know everything, but you know, whatever I can offer, I'm happy to offer. You know, a lot of people starting their business, starting their brands, want some ideas on what's next. I think if I would say one thing, I want to put a call to the larger audience. We're looking for some women teammates. You know, we're too many men. We recognize that women are half of this game that we love so much. And when we say every player counts, we're talking about not just, you know, the players in Brooklyn or Harlem. We're talking about Chicago, Miami, Beijing, India, Brazil, Sao Paulo. But we're also talking about women. We're also talking about handicapped people, right? Everyone who loves this game the way we do, we want to enfranchise them. And our team has to look like our audience. And too many men right now. So if there's anyone out there listening, any women who want to learn about startups, who want to learn about technology, want to learn about business launching, I'm happy to facilitate. It doesn't have to be a Ballstar in any way, shape, or form, but we definitely want women teammates to help round out our perspectives and how we approach things. So,
or if you're a woman and you happen to write, you know, if you're a good writer, let us know. Let us know. You know, you can be a sports writer.
Yeah, we recognize our blind spots as men, and we know the women's game has been huge. I mean, we've been at Ballstar been supporting brands like Rose Classic from the very beginning. So, you know, it's never been something that we've wavered from. But the women's game is exploding just as the international game's exploding, and to try to keep your finger on the pulse of all of that can be a little much. So, you know, I would love it. If there are any women out there listening, they're interested, they like what we're working on, come through.
Yo, 5 years, man. 5 years. Where's Ballstar? What's Ballstar doing? What's the
in 5 years? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go Charles Barkley, right? I'm gonna go Charles Barkley with this one. In 5 years, Ballstar replaces ESPN. Guaranteed.
Yo, and with that, man, you know, I'm gonna wrap it up here, man. Thank you.
Shout out to Patrick Ewing. Shout out to TTK, the artist. Shout out to all my Knicks fans out there. You know what it is, man. I'm from Brooklyn, but it's Knicks fans all day, man. Appreciate everybody who helped us along. Appreciate you, Cal, for taking the time, man. Really.
Yo, man, get down and lay down season, man. This summer, get down and lay down. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We trying to tell you now. You know what I'm saying? Get down and lay down.
Peace, man. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. Much love. It's Ballstar, everybody. All things hoops. Ballstar. Get down or lay